mate, tell me a bit about how you got started in the property game.
I guess I've always had a passion for property. I bought my first house at 19.
Right, good heavens.
And so I got on the property ladder early.
Yeah.
But didn't get into the industry as a professional until I was probably about 10 years ago now.
Yeah.
I was convinced to join a friend of mine's property company. They were selling properties to investors at the time.
Yeah.
I spent probably about 18 months there. I was pretty green, obviously. Learned a lot. Also learned a lot about what I don't want to do as a career in property, which is selling house and land packages or apartments or anything to investors, because through that time I realised that's not going to get the right outcome that they're chasing.
Yeah.
So from there I then I was offered a job at another buyer's agency in Perth, another advisory, so full service advisory. Spent a couple of years there, learnt a lot, and also learnt a lot more about how I want to do things, which was a little bit different as well.
Of course.
With a bit more of a focus on integrity of advice, more competitive fees, and making sure that we're focused on client outcomes at all times.
Sure.
So at that time that was about 6 years ago now, we started Capital Property Advisory, which was really just me as a buyer's agent to begin with.
Yeah. And so, okay, so you're just basically, you're sourcing properties for clients.
Yeah, we started out doing what I'd learned at my time at my previous employer, which is acquiring properties for predominantly investors, also owner-occupiers, and also developers.
Yeah.
And then after a couple of years, the development space had really sort of kicked off. This is back when people had an appetite to construct houses, unlike now.
Yes. Yeah.
And so the first hire in the business was a development manager.
Yeah.
And they started running full feasibility studies and doing project management for our clients. And in a pretty short time, we had, I think, 15 to 20 client projects under management.
Right.
So we would acquire the site for the client, make sure it was feasible to construct, and then we'd actually manage the whole process from start to finish, including competitive tendering and everything else.
Righto. So when did you start exactly?
It was 6 years ago, August 2016.
Wow. Okay.
Yep.
And so walk me forward now to what's happened since then. What have you got going, and then what?
From there, we sort of just started growing organically, obviously slower in the early stages.
Yeah.
We were doubling our revenue every year and have done for 6 years now.
Yeah.
And we've built the team now out to include some more diversified services. So we added property management a couple of years ago.
Sure. Okay.
We built out that team under a separate brand, Chase Residential.
Chase. Okay. Yep.
Yep. And that just allows us to better service our clients. Obviously, if we're buying a property for an investor, they need someone to do that, and we were handing that off to trusted partners previously. So it's nice to be able to keep that in-house and work with the client longer term to help them achieve whatever their goals are.
Okay. All right. So you'll find them a property, and then you can, once they've got a property, they need property management because it's typically an investment property.
Correct.
So Chase takes care of that. Yeah. Right. So what else are you doing?
So we've got property management now. We also do developments for clients, as I mentioned earlier, but we started our own, doing our own syndicated development.
Did you? Okay. Yep. All right.
As well. So pre-COVID, we purchased a couple of sites at the right time.
Yeah.
A couple of great acquisitions, one in Wembley, one in North Perth, and then we followed on with another one in Nedlands.
Yeah.
So we bought well, we bought at the right time, and then COVID hit. So that was obviously a little bit scary for everyone, us included.
Terrifying.
And then all the issues that flowed on from COVID in the construction space have been challenging. But because we bought at the right time, we locked in most of our construction pricing pre-COVID. We worked with the builders to pay them a little bit extra, even though contractually we didn't have to. So just to make sure that we're getting the right outcome for everybody. And it looks like we're going to outperform what we had indicated we would get on our initial IM, despite all those challenges. Our first project in Wembley finishes next month, actually.
Wow, exciting. So that's going to happen. And then what? So there's Wembley, and then
Wembley, North Perth. We finished a few months behind that. I think April, and then probably about 3 or 4 months after that, it'll be Nedlands. And we've stayed away from apartments, and we've focused on luxury townhouses in premium suburbs.
Yeah, okay. And that's that missing middle thing, right?
It is, yeah. People talk about it a lot.
Yeah.
We've gone premium suburbs because we know there's always going to be good owner-occupier demand for them.
Yeah.
And so in any market, obviously the Perth market, there's a lot of investors in it at the moment, but historically it's a pretty small percentage of the pie.
Yeah.
So building investor product to sell to investors is a little bit risky in my view.
Yeah.
So we bought great pieces of dirt, we put great product on it, and then despite all the challenges of COVID and the delays and everything else, we're still looking like outperforming by almost double in our first one.
Yeah, that's extreme.